they feel no one else in the room came up with. That'll be a challenge with a group this large. So what's your idea? Here you go.
We actually have a bathtub that is lined with fish, real fish, so it's an aquarium. You have that?
Sorry.
No.
Good try. Okay, another group that wants to try?
It recycles the water when you're done with the bath.
There's just no originality. You want the mic? Okay. You've got a better one. Okay.
And it adds to it.
Oh, it adds to it. Okay.
It fills up from the bottom, and it Hey.
Okay, we'll try two more.
We got a karaoke bath.
Karaoke?
Yeah.
Karaoke bathtub? Only a few tables had that. Okay, last go at it.
Our bathtub has an automatic dog dryer.
Automatic dog dryer. Okay. Anybody have automatic dog? They did over here. Automatic body dryer. Okay. Okay. Why in divergent thinking, why allow for really novel ideas? Well, there are a couple of reasons. First, it injects humor. People laugh, get relaxed. They figure, boy, if automatic dog dryer can be said, I might as well share my idea. So it creates an atmosphere in which you're reinforcing where you will entertain all ideas. And that's really important because the climate in the meeting will have a direct impact on the quality of the meeting. So it creates a relaxed atmosphere. Second reason is, you never know. Those ideas might be transformed into something truly workable. For example, when I was studying at the University of Manchester, I did a lot of consulting with the Atomic Energy Authority. And when they were taking scientists and grooming them to become managers, they went through a series of training programs, and we delivered a 2-day training program on creative thinking. As part of the training program, we would work on real tasks to demonstrate the power of creative problem solving in particular. And nuclear scientists are very difficult to drive home the point why one would allow for really novel ideas. Except for this one event, one training program that we did, where we were working on a really tough problem. The engineers or the scientists were working with radioactive material in an underwater environment. And they were cutting this material, and when they would cut the material, particles would go into the water, and after a period of time, it would exceed the safety specifications, so they would have to drain out this pool, and then it was a very large pool. They'd have to go in then and clean it out. Essentially, it was downtime. It was wasted time. So the problem we were working on was how to find another way to clean out the radioactive material. So we were having this session, just like we had now, with a smaller group, and we were generating ideas, and someone, very jokingly, one of the scientists said, oh, why don't we hire an underwater maid and have her go in and clean it up? And all the fellows laughed. And then a few ideas later, one of the scientists said, you know what, underwater maid. That reminds me of a trade show that I went to about 6 months ago where they were showing new technology. Now, this was many years ago. Showing new technology that was an underwater Hoover. And, I wonder if we can adapt that underwater vacuum cleaner for a radioactive environment. Well, don't you know, that was the idea they ended up pursuing. So perhaps if underwater maid hadn't come up, that follow-on idea might not have come up. So there's another reason why we allow for novel associations. So moving forward from the bathtub to, a couple comments before we get to the Synovate task we're going to be working on. First of all, comparison of a conventional meeting. In a conventional meeting where you're there to solve a problem and come up with ideas, often what happens, we suggest an idea and it's immediately evaluated. So what happens as a consequence of that is we only suggest an idea unless we believe it's good. Because if you believe you're going to be evaluated, boy, you've really got your own editor working in your mind, right? So what happens is many ideas die up here. They never see the light of day when we know judgment is going to occur. What happens at this point, when we're evaluating the idea, we're put in a position where often what happens is we're attacking or defending. After the idea is evaluated, it's quickly either accepted or rejected, and we move to implement. Now, the downside to this is if there's lots of evaluation going on, we often accept what we do is we run with, we implement the idea that's minimally acceptable. Tends not to be terribly risky. In a brainstorming meeting, which is what we just did, we practiced these divergent thinking guidelines as a group, which is brainstorming. An idea is suggested, it's recorded, and we continue to cycle through at this stage. We follow this BS stands for brainstorming rules. Just to be clear, it wouldn't fit on the screen. It's in public view now. You're recording and you can't see the ideas. It's much more effective if you have someone recording on a laptop and the ideas are projected, or you have someone with a flip chart or using technology, because we tend to forget recency effect. We forget the ideas that were generated earlier, and we get that visual stimuli of the ideas in front of us. That's more effective. We stop when we think we have enough. Evaluation is deferred, then we move into convergence later. A much more effective way of running a meeting, at least a meeting where we're searching for ideas. Why is quantity? Quick word around why quantity is important. If we look at eminently creative people, we see that they had more than a single idea. They tended to have many ideas, of which a few were creative breakthroughs. So scientists who won the Nobel Prize publish on average 3.24 more papers per year versus, 3.24 papers per year versus 1.48 by non-winners. Edison held over 1,000 patents, Einstein 248 publications, Mozart had well over 600 compositions, J.S. Bach had more than 1,000 compositions to his credit. Picasso completed more than 20,000 works. He got up and created a piece of art every day. Were they all equally creative? No. In industry, there was a study published a couple years ago in the Creativity and Innovation Management Journal where they tracked successful innovations in the marketplace. And what they found on average was that it took 3,000 initial product concepts to get to one successful innovation in the marketplace. 3,000 in order to get to one. So you need to play with lots of ideas in order to get to the breakthrough. In the pharmaceutical industry, it's even more than that. It's almost double. It's 5,000 concepts to get to one successful innovation. So we're going to turn to something real for you. Integration's been a theme all day. What we're going to ask you to do at your table is to generate ideas on what are all the ways we can demonstrate real integration here at Synovate. Working with Gavin and Sharon to give you a little background to help you as you're generating. What we mean by this is what can be done to work together to help each other? What can you do to help others, and what might they do to help you? We'd like you to take an overall Synovate approach, not just your business unit or country, but what's the best thing for the whole company. Now, we want to save these ideas. So at your table, you have a worksheet that has brainstorming on it. I think has 30 so boxes to record your ideas. Pull that out, and that's the sheet we'd like you to record the ideas on. And after the keynote, after this presentation, please leave that sheet on your table because they will all be collected. Now, let me give you a warning. I usually don't do this with groups. Usually I talk about this afterwards. But the bathtub was fun, right? It was easy to apply the 4 guidelines to divergent thinking. But guess what happens, especially to judgment and our ability to suspend judgment when we work on something that's real for us? What do you think happens? It's more difficult. It's more difficult to suspend evaluation. So the challenge for you is continue, like the bathtub, where it was hard for me to get your attention because you were having so much fun with it. What tends to happen when we move from the bathtub to something real is the fun completely goes out. Okay? Because it's real for us. So you'll have 5 minutes or so, just like the bathtub, to generate ideas on this challenge. Remember the 4 guidelines. Recorder, please, you're primarily responsible for making sure that people follow the 4 guidelines. Suspending judgment, striving for quantity, building off of each other, and allowing for really novel thinking, novel ideas. So the challenge is, what are all the ways we can demonstrate real integration here at Synovate? You have 5 minutes at your table to come up with as many ideas as you can. Fill up that worksheet. If you run out of space on that worksheet, I think you have a second worksheet, or you can turn to the reverse side of the worksheet. You have 5 minutes. Go. Okay, nice and loud.
The first one was to have video conferencing on every PC, so whenever you're talking. And the other idea was to your bonus to be based on all other teams' performance, not your own team's performance.
Okay, good. All right, another table. Okay, the two ideas you want to share. Who's going to take the microphone?
Okay, Synovate YouTube, so you can actually, just post, like an office in Miami, for example, just post anything they want to post on YouTube.
Okay.
And the other one is the automatic calling system to someone you don't know. Random system to someone you don't know at Synovate.
Every month you have to phone somebody randomly.
Go ahead, say it again.
Every month a name and a telephone number pops up and you have to phone them, and it's sort of random.
Okay.
And you have to find out what they're up to and introduce yourself.
Okay, good. And I'll take one more example. I'll work my way, since I've been tending to get tables in the front of the room. There was a group in the back that had their hand up. Okay. Get my exercise. Okay. Can you do me a favor? Can you hand that microphone to that table? Okay, so what are your two?
We said to incent employees who go on a vacation to other countries to stop by the Synovate office and meet the people. And following from that idea, we thought then on this internet we could have a listing for house switches, just like vacation switches.
Okay. Okay, all of those ideas, again, will be collected. Make sure you leave those in the center of your table so that they can be picked up after the close of this presentation. All right, we've worked through Generate Ideas, and this is a very quick walkthrough, believe me, creative problem solving, and that's one tool that can be used in Generate Ideas. We're now going to move into Select and Strengthen Solutions. So once you have an idea, how do you evaluate it? So here's an example of an idea. This is a sketch, rough sketch of an idea for a new wheelbarrow design. Stat your tables not as an entire group, but turn to a partner at your table and make some comments to each other about what you think about this wheelbarrow design. So what do you think about it? What are your comments about this proposed idea? Turn to a partner at your table and just swap some comments with each other.